speaking to our urban context here, and I'm curious about what you think about the importance of restoration in urban settings, because when you think about urban settings, we're in places where those derivative products are on every billboard around you. They're being constantly advertised. I think so much of the human attention in this area is focused on those and focused on producing them. And in order to feed and house and clothe the many, many people who live in these areas, it requires huge amounts of resources to be imported into those places. So I'm curious about what you think about restoring urban areas that have been degraded due to development, and how they need to be more productive in and of themselves if they want even a chance of becoming sustainable places for human habitation.
Well, I might adjust your question a little, because I think we have a couple of issues. One is sustainability, but another is survival. So I think we're past the point where we can just talk about sustainability right now. We're really talking about survival. And in that context, we need to understand this as quickly as possible. So we need a tsunami of consciousness, actually, that goes throughout the world and everyone understands. We get a collective consciousness around what is real. But the degree of difficulty is very high. Urban areas are organized around this materialism. The travel, the distances, the idea that your job is to do something to get money, to buy things. This is something which no individual can change by themselves, but it's something that human civilization has to come to grips with right away, or we're going to continue on this point, but we're already at the crisis point. So this has been told to us throughout all of history. It's written into almost every sacred text, but it hasn't been listened to. So the potential for failure is high, but you still have to live. And the other thing that's hopeful about this is that when you look at the total population and you think about, well, most of the people are just doing what they have to do because they're not in control. They've lost their sovereignty in many ways. So they can't decide what to do. They're told what to do. They're forced to do certain things because the system says you have to do that. And what we need to realize is they're equal to everyone else. And so what we've done is we've taken away their agency, we've taken away their creativity. So they're running around trying to buy all the things that they're told that they need, and they pile up in the trash heaps and they go into storage lockers where they just stand there, and whenever anything is bought or whenever anybody pays for a storage locker, it's supposed to be increasing wealth because the GDP accumulates that as a positive, but it's not. So if we got into another space and we were able to meditate into an understanding that real wealth is not contained in this materialism, and then you looked at how much stuff there is, how much food there is, then it wouldn't be a problem as long as we learn to share. If we learn to share, then we wouldn't have this issue of people starving, because how can they starve when you walk into the supermarket and it's filled with food? But that food is also kind of toxic, so you have a lot of people with diabetes and heart disease unnecessarily because they're not eating really clean, clear food. And So if you have this understanding about the relationship between ecological function and wealth, then you can incentivize other ways of living. Your economy then, it's not necessary to make things and buy and sell things to create value. You can create value by not creating toxicity, by restoring and protecting the natural systems. And as long as human beings learn to share, then there's no problem whatsoever.